All right. All right. I said I would go on at 8 o'clock. Sorry, I'm going to shock you all now. We start the show at least 15 minutes early. What's going on, guys? I'm Brian Himmelfarb, aka the Himmelgod. Welcome to episode 26 of the Himmelgod Has Spoken live from House Himmel. Oh, man, we've got another Thursday night, quite a few things to go ahead and talk about. I understand the Game Awards is tonight. I'm not big on award shows or anything for video games. It's always been a mockery for the past several years, but who cares, right? We're all here. We got some stuff to talk about tonight, some messages to send. Drama free, folks. I put that in the chat earlier tonight, that tonight is a drama free zone. There is no drama allowed here in our chats or anything that goes on the show tonight. So shout out to everyone who jumped in here tonight. Alpha Excalibur so far, I see you. Elias, Casey is raw. Luke, Rojas. I got my mods in the house tonight. It's great. Little thing for my mods tonight. I know they've always been busy going ahead getting rid of people tonight. So I'm going to say for tonight, for my mods, take the night off. Let's not even worry about getting everybody out, because we're going to be watching what some of these people say and what they do, and we're just going to use it against them. So guys, don't worry about banning anybody tonight. Let's just have fun. Let's just go ahead and talk about stuff and have a good time. Jim Kays, I see Jim Kays is here in the house. What's going on, Jim? We had some new subscribers come on to the channel. I think it's Kyle Renard. Kyle Renard, thank you for subbing here to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Drew, the gatekeeper Drew, is here. What's going on? He says interesting. Yeah. So, I know some things have been said last week on the show that was very incriminating about me. And I can tell you that tonight, I told my mods, let's not ban anybody, because we're going to see what they say. And I'm going to make sure we screen capture it. And we use it against the people who chose to go this route. But tonight, drama free. No drama, no nothing. We're going to have a good time. Fuck all the drama bullshit. We're just going to do whatever we want to do. And we got a lot of things coming up here on Thursday. I'm hearing that Ken and Billy Ricky are going to be on tonight. So they're going to be coming up later on. Also, of course, Thursday Night Throwdown on the Joe Cronin Show. He's going to have that going on. Nobody, Luke. Come on, man. So some things were said last week that I didn't like very much. But thank you to my mods who deleted that person. But we'll make sure, that stuff doesn't happen again. But tonight, guys, let's just take the night off from banning anybody. And I'm going to make sure we screen capture anything that they say. And we'll have that for later on. And then we'll go back to banning people later. So tonight, take the night off, guys. We're not going to worry about banning anybody. So, but feel free for my mods to have free roam in the chat and have fun. So there you go. No bans tonight, Elias. We're not going to do anything like that. We're not going to time anybody out. We're going to go ahead and do what I need to do to use for in the future. So there you go. Drama free tonight, guys. We're not going to talk about anybody or anything like that. So thank you guys for being in here tonight. We got a lot to get into. We're going to talk about GameStop. Obviously, some problems with GameStop. We're going to talk about that. The PlayStation Classic. It seems that the PlayStation Classic, which just released this week, has been data mined, and we find out that the 20 games that we got may have not been what the idea of the PlayStation Classic was supposed to be. What were those other games? And you're going to find out here on the show tonight. Microsoft acquiring more studios for the future. What's up, Steve Callan? Thank you for being here. They're looking into acquire more studios. A rumor's going around about that, but it's the rumor was created by someone who's very credible, and we could hear about some more studios in 2019. Also, Daredevil. This happened just this past week on Friday, because my show's air on Thursday. So Daredevil has been canceled by Netflix. This is a big story that's been going around. What's going to happen with Daredevil and some of the other shows that Marvel has on Netflix? And we're going to talk about that, especially Jessica Jones and The Punisher, which seem to be the only two shows that have not been infected by the cancel bug, at least yet. Oh, come on, Luke. I think that show was great. Also, Bethesda, some problems with Bethesda. Thank you to Elias, who brought the story to my attention about Bethesda and a little glitch in their system. We'll talk about that. And, of course, Week 14 of the NFL. We got to get the picks in. And we're going to start that off right now. So here we go. We want to get the picks out of the way before we move into the gaming stuff and other things I want to get into today. So, starting out tonight, we got a game starting up in the next few minutes. Jacksonville against the Tennessee Titans. Jacksonville 4-8, Tennessee 6-6. In the thick of the playoff race, Jacksonville obviously out, which is disappointing for a team that came from the AFC Championship a season ago to being 4-8 right now, which is back to the usual Jacksonville Jaguars all over again. So obviously issues there. They are 5.5 point favorite for Tennessee tonight, and that explains why I had no players on my fantasy team playing tonight. This is Drew the Gatekeeper. Oh man, Tennessee a 5.5 point favorite, and I think that's going to continue on that route. I think Tennessee will win tonight on Thursday Night Football. Moving into the Sunday games, New York Jets and the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills over 400 yards of offense against the Miami Dolphins this past weekend and still lost. Miami, by the way, only got 175 yards of total offense and won that game by 4 points. Go figure. But, and then, of course, dropping a wide open pass in the end zone. What do you expect? It's the Buffalo Bills. But the Bills are going to be at home in this one, a 3.5 point favorite over the Jets, who have been trashed. What's up, Ryan Romano? And I'm going to stick with the Buffalo Bills in this game this week. Carolina and the Cleveland Browns. Carolina right now 6-6, not doing very well. Yeah, James Worley did it. Carolina, I think, lost their last 4 games, so things haven't been very well with Carolina. Cleveland on the other side, interesting so far for their season, 4-7-1. They've been pretty decent, I got to tell you, on the Cleveland Browns. Now, they are a 2-point dog at home against the Carolina Panthers, but I'm going to say it this week and go against the grain here. And it's not very usual that I would pick the Cleveland Browns, but I'm doing it this week. Cleveland knocks off Carolina at home. I'm telling you, it's going to work. Atlanta right now is going to take on the Green Bay Packers Sunday at Lambeau Field. The Packers lose for the first time at home all season. Mike McCarthy fired. Yes. And I was excited about that. I know JP wasn't very happy about it. But for the rest of us in Packer Nation, we're happy because we wanted to get rid of Mike McCarthy for the longest time. It needed to happen. I'm very happy that it took place. And but now we got the Falcons coming in. Joe Philbin now is going to be coaching. And I remember Joe Philbin when he was coaching Miami. And trust me, it wasn't any better. But you got Aaron Rodgers. The Atlanta Falcons give up a ton of yards on the ground. So it's important for the Packers to run the football. And I think they'll do that with a 5.5 point favorite at home and win over Atlanta. So I'm going to pick them over the Falcons. Granted, last week they were a 14-point favorite over Arizona and lost. But I'm picking them this week to win. That's where I see it. Baltimore at the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City pretty much, I would say at this point, are going to be in the playoffs this year. Baltimore on the other side, they're on the 6th seed right now in the AFC. And they need to get a little bit of help. Maybe they're pretty close in the division race. And it's really neck and neck between them and the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. And with Miami just creeping behind at 6-6, you got a bunch of 6-6 teams that are very close. Kansas City, a 6.5 point favorite at home, and I don't think it's going to be good enough. I'm going against the grain again, and I'm picking the Baltimore Ravens to beat Kansas City. The loss of Kareem Hunt could be big, a big factor in this game and everything for the Chiefs going forward. But I still think Kansas City more than likely will probably make the playoffs. New England against Miami. This is a big one here. And I could tell you this. The New England Patriots, you could tell you if there's a kryptonite for Tom Brady, it's when he plays the Dolphins in Miami. When that happens, Tom Brady is a mortal man. That's what happens. For some reason, it's a horror show for New England in that game. The Miami Dolphins, right now 6-6. They're just on the outside of the playoffs right now, a game behind Baltimore. They're tied with a few other teams at 6-6, so they still need help to get into the playoffs. And that could happen, but more than likely probably won't. because the Dolphins' schedule not very favorable towards the end of the season. It's not very good for them. I don't think a lot of people expected the Dolphins to make this much noise, but they're a 500 team. A lot of people would call mediocre even if you're at 500, but really at a 500 team, I just don't feel they're that believable. I pick in the Patriots right now. They're a 7.5-point favorite on the road in Miami. Miami's been well at home, but this is in Miami, and that's the horror show. Because a lot of times when New England comes down to Miami, as I just threw my hands up for Joe Cronin, when the Patriots come down here, they never play well, and about 80% of the time they lose. But I'm telling you, I think the Patriots are going to squeak one out. Very, very close game. So I'm going to pick the Patriots in this one, but I don't think they're covering 7.5. The New Orleans Saints take on the Tampa Bay Bucks in Tampa. The Saints coming in an 8-point favorite. Their 10-game winning streak snapped against the Cowboys last week. Now the Saints 8-point on. Yeah, man, Tampa Bay has just been awful, and I can't see the Saints losing this. So I'm going to pick New Orleans to win this game. So we'll stick with the Saints on the road. The New York Giants face the Washington Redskins in an NFC East game. And Patriots usually kick the shit out of the Dolphins in every other city, true. But in Miami, it just never works. It just never works. I'm telling you, the mystique in Miami, it's a whole different thing. Throw everything you know out the window because now it's a straight-up game. That's why you don't see the Patriots as a huge favorite because of the horror shows that they have down here. But the Giants in Washington getting to this NFC East game. The Redskins at 6-6 right now. The Giants 4-8. Had a big win last week, did the Giants. And they are a 3.5-point favorite on the road against Washington, a team who has struggled as of late. Yes, it is in Miami, Elias. It is in Miami. But I'm going to pick the Giants to knock off Washington in this game. And it's going to make the NFC East a little more interesting, to tell you, and especially as you move forward towards a playoff. But I don't think the Giants are going to make the playoffs. Obviously, they're not. But they're going to make some noise here, and that'll be interesting enough. Indianapolis, a team that got shut out last week by Jacksonville, 6-0. They're playing Houston this week. In Houston, the Texans a 5-point favorite. Listen, I think Indianapolis might actually score some points this week. So if you're wondering if the Colts are going to score something, I think they will. And I'm going to go ahead and take the Houston Texans, though. So Indianapolis will get on the board, but Houston still winning the game. Cincinnati against the Chargers, the other team in LA. The Chargers come in with the biggest spread of the week, 14 points against Cincinnati, which is pretty obvious. I'm going to take the Chargers here. They're on a roll on the way towards the playoffs. And how interesting will it be in the AFC West as the Chargers, and I'm picking the fact that the Chiefs will lose, make things a little interesting in that race. So Chargers knock off the Bengals. Denver at San Francisco. Denver, a 4-point favorite on the road in San Fran. San Fran pretty much just trying to end the season. They're 2-10. They're awful. But then again, we saw what Arizona did, and then all of a sudden they won. But it's a 4-point favorite here for Denver on the road, and I'm going to stick with it in this one because, as I said, the 49ers have been awful. They might keep things a little close, but that's about it. So Denver wins this one. In an NFC East game, we got the Eagles and the Cowboys. Cowboys 3.5-point favorite at home. Dallas used Ezekiel Elliott the last time to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, and I expect the same thing to happen again here, this time in Dallas. So the Cowboys will get that win as they make their way one step closer to the playoffs. Dallas back in the playoffs again. What do you know? The Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Oakland Raiders, and the Steelers come in with the second biggest spread of the week, 10.5. Against Oakland, another team that's just ready for their 5 picks in the first round of the draft next year, what it feels like. And it looks like maybe they're going to find some way to get some more first-round picks. Maybe they'll trade off some other players to the Steelers during that game. Who knows? But obviously the Steelers are going to win this one. It's no surprise to anybody that Oakland is pretty much just tanking at this point. Plain obvious to see. The Detroit Lions against Arizona. Arizona making the big upset over the Packers this past weekend. This time they're going to get Detroit, except this time they're Cardinals at home. And the Lions are a 3-point favorite. Obviously, Arizona's not going to pretty much be a favorite for the rest of the season anyway. But I'm going to pick the Cardinals in this game to win over Detroit. Detroit's awful. Come on. I mean, they're really bad. You got two bad teams facing each other. And in the end, what all it matters is who's worse. And I would have to say it's the Detroit Lions. So, yeah, Oakland taking, what a shock. I know, exactly. But, yeah, Detroit's going to win that game. Sunday Night Football, the team in LA that everyone loves, the Los Angeles Rams, face the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field. This is probably going to be the biggest game of the week worth watching. Obviously, the Bears' defense has been phenomenal and have been the surprise of the league. We knew that the Rams were going to be good. And both of these teams are just going to play knockout freaking football, especially, I think, on the defensive side. 3-point spread right now for LA Rams in this game, and I'm sticking with them on this one. So Chicago losing again, making things a little bit interesting in the NFC North. So I'm going to pick the Rams in this game. Monday night, getting to the last game here this week before we get to the rest of our stuff. Minnesota against Seattle. The 12th man, we raising the flag once again. Seattle on the way to trying to make a wild card at this point because that division is pretty much all the Rams at this stage. The Rams are already in the playoffs. They're already pretty much a division winner at this stage. Right now, all they did was clinch a playoff spot. But with the Rams win and a Seattle loss, the Rams have the division. So I think they pretty much just about have it now anyway. So Minnesota is coming in as a 3-point dog to Seattle. And, Seattle at home, they're just a different team. If this was in Minnesota, I would pick the Vikings. But in this stage, it's in Seattle. I'm taking the Seahawks to win on Monday Night Football. So there you go. Getting all the NFL picks out of the way. Hopefully it works out good for you. This whole season's been working out pretty good for me with a win percentage of over 80%. So obviously I've been doing pretty damn well. Elias says, usually Monday Night Football sucks with matchups. Yeah, you're technically right. They haven't had a lot of good Monday Night Footballs. Usually the Sunday night ones are very good because NBC has that option to flex games, especially towards the latter part of the season. So when they're able to go ahead and flex games and put the better matchups on, which is like what we have with the Rams and the Bears, and some of the matchups we've seen in previous weeks where you have top tier teams, that's a big deal. So we're seeing that. I'm very happy about it, and looking forward to the Sunday night game way more than the Monday night game. I can tell you that for sure. So now we got football out of the way. We can get to all the main stuff. By the way, we had a trailer this week for Captain Marvel, which premiered on Monday. We were supposed to have the Avengers trailer yesterday, but because of the funeral for George Bush, we didn't get that. The trailer for Avengers 4 will be on Friday morning on Good Morning America. And then on Saturday, we're going to get Spider-Man Far From Home. So get ready for 2 big Marvel trailers for the next 2 days. But getting to the Captain Marvel trailer, I thought it was almost the same old stuff that we saw in the first trailer. A lot of the same concepts, storyline and whatnot. Yeah, we got to see a little bit more of the old lady getting punched out by Captain Marvel. That's fine, and got the little scene and whatever. I thought the trailer was ho-hum. I thought it was not convincing enough for me to say, oh, I want to go see this. Now, chances are I'm going to end up seeing it anyway. But I felt like the hype level was not very high for me. It's still pretty low. And yeah, Good Morning America creating new viewers by causing gamers to wake up early. Yeah, no kidding. And Marvel fans too, right? I mean, Monday Night Football was great. I got to watch Monday Night Football and then see the Captain Marvel trailer. So it worked out because I still love football. And okay, I love Marvel too, so I got to see it. But I thought it was okay. I watched the trailer now about 2-3 times, but not enough yet to still convince me. So my expectations are still pretty low on Captain Marvel, and especially for Brie Larson. Brie Larson hasn't really had that big starring role for a movie, so it's the one thing I feel like it's really holding her back. That's why you have Samuel L. Jackson in this movie, and I remember a lot of the feminazis. Especially the feminazis sit there and they bitched about the first Captain Marvel trailer, where they bitched about how many lines of dialogue that Brie Larson had versus how many lines of dialogue Samuel L. Jackson had. And Samuel L. Jackson dominated that one more than a 2-to-1 ratio. So in this movie or trailer, it looks a little bit more even, but I'm tired of people counting lines because the Me Too movement wants that. Fuck that bullshit. Honestly, it's a Marvel movie. We're going to watch it because it's a fucking superhero. That's it. All right? I wish they would stop complaining about how many lines a woman has in a movie compared to a man. Give me a break. It's just so fucking stupid. The garbage that we have to see. And I just can't get over it. I really can't. But I'm looking forward to the Avengers trailer tomorrow. I feel like it's going to be more of a tease than an actual trailer. I think that they're going to want to tease things along before they give you, maybe during the Super Bowl, give you a good trailer. And I think for right now, you're just going to get that maybe a minute or a minute and a half trailer that's probably not going to give you much information at all. But you know what? The less information, the better. Because I feel like in a trailer, don't give away the movie. Just give us a little bit. Don't kill us on it. I'm starting to do a movement. Oh God, Drew, come on, man. I've never been to the UK. Thank you, Hater 101. Never been to the UK. No. I agree. I know, typical double standard, female double standard stuff. And look, can't we just enjoy a movie without someone saying, "Oh, well, the female has this versus the male has this"? Who cares? Honestly, it's just so stupid. It's just getting way out of freaking hand. I want to get over to this and talk about Daredevil. It was sad for me because I'm watching season 3. I started watching late last week, and at the time I was doing my episode last week, I was about halfway through the season. And Friday, I woke up to the news that Daredevil was being canceled by Netflix. And I sat there and I just said to myself, why? Daredevil is one of the most popular shows that is on Netflix. Actually, it's surprising that in the last week, Daredevil was the 4th highest watched show on Netflix for that week. It's insane. Everyone of course watched it when the show first premiered. And then in the last last week or two, because it came out, I think, in October. So it's only been out for a few weeks. And in that few weeks, it has been one of the most highly watched shows on there. I think only a few other shows beat it. Stranger Things, obviously, because everyone's still watching Stranger Things. And I love the show. I think Stranger Things is great. The new Sabrina show, I think, beat it because it's brand new. And I think there were a couple other shows. I think Orange is the New Black was up there too, with their show. So a couple of new shows and whatnot were kind of outdrawing it, but not by much. Maybe by a couple million views, but that's about it. I think season 3 of Daredevil had over 31 million views, especially in the last week. So it's a very high draw for Netflix, and to see it canceled really hurt because I feel like it is one of their best shows. And out of the Marvel characters that they did for the Defenders, it's been the one that people look forward to the most. And the second one obviously would be Jessica Jones, because a lot of us really liked it compared to, say, Iron Fist, which was a disappointment. And Luke Cage was not bad, but I'm not going to say it was overwhelmingly great. And I still feel like maybe Disney might have had something to do with it, Elias. I think they did, especially because they have the merger with Fox, and of course they own Marvel. And the the Netflix series shows, and of course they have the Punisher. They do take place in the MCU, so this was a big deal. I see someone talk about Fallout 76. We're going to get into that in this episode today as well with Bethesda. So we'll be talking about that. So thank you for mentioning that in the chat. Let me see who that was in the chat. Luke Rojas said that. You always count on Luke to give us stuff. So thank you, Luke Rojas. But I've been getting into the show, and I think season 3 of Daredevil has been very good. Season 2 was like, not bad. Season 1 was awesome. Season 2 was like, whatever. Especially when you had the Elektra stuff and whatever. The Punisher stuff I was very interested in. And then when you get into the Elektra stuff, I was like, whatever. And then season 3, we get back to what kind of made what season 1 was so awesome, which was having Vincent D'Onofrio, who came in as Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, seeing him back, and then having Daredevil and Kingpin going at it again. So it made for really interesting television. So TSS, I was getting to that point too. Jessica Jones and The Punisher will have a new season, by the way. That's coming up. Season 2 was used to promote The Punisher a bit, and you are right. That is absolutely correct. And I enjoyed the Punisher parts. I really did. I thought the Punisher parts were great. And seeing him in the show, and now here in... But watching season 3 made me realize what made season 1 so good. And then you add Bullseye into the mix, which made things even sweeter. That's that point of where I'm at in the show, where Bullseye has infiltrated the newspaper where Karen Page works, and they were doing that interview to help out, for Matt Murdock. And, then all of a sudden shit goes down, and then they have the big fight, and it's like, oh, dude, this fight is great. And then, fuck. But I got 5 more episodes to watch. I'm still excited to watch them. But the big question is, what's going on? Why did this happen? And we realized that Disney did have something to do with this. But it's not to do with their streaming service, Disney+. As we know, Disney announced their streaming service, Disney+, which is going to have Star Wars. It's going to have all the Marvel movies. But it will not have the Marvel Netflix shows. Those are staying on Netflix. They're not leaving, so you can still watch the episodes. But all the Marvel movies and Star Wars stuff is going to transfer over to Disney+. So it's going to be gone. So it's kind of a really big disappointment, because I feel like a lot of people who came over to Netflix didn't just come there for Stranger Things. They did come over for Marvel. They did come over for Star Wars. And now that stuff's not going to be there. So you have to get the Disney streaming service. All of a sudden, everybody has a streaming service. Netflix, by the way, is something I'll be talking about again later in this episode. But, it's a disappointment, but we know that Jessica Jones is going to have a new season. The Punisher has a new season, but yet they haven't been canceled yet. But I can tell you this, both of those shows eventually will get canceled after the run has started. I think maybe a week or 2 in, they'll make a story that says Netflix canceled Jessica Jones after 3 seasons, and Netflix cancels The Punisher after 2 seasons. I think Disney has a plan, and the plan is, and we found out about this from Disney, and that the idea is that they're going to bring Daredevil into the MCU, not in terms of movies, but into their television programming. So Daredevil is still going to be there. Now, will he be played by Charlie Cox? I don't know. Because he's done a fantastic job as Matt Murdock and Daredevil. And so they're going to try to find a way to incorporate him into the shows, not into the movies. And then don't worry, and there's not going to be a season 4 on Disney+. It's not going to happen. So they're not going to be doing that. That's COX, Luke. Luke the Friendly Troll, everybody. But they're going to incorporate him into the show. I think that we'll see some of the other characters from the Netflix series that they have on Netflix will find a way to be incorporated into the Disney system, into their MCU. And I think that's what's going to happen. Just like that, we're hearing that X-Men are going to be introduced into the MCU now that they're going to have Fox, and by the new year, they will have officially acquired it. So it's good news that way all the characters that we kind of grew with for the last couple of years, we're still going to have them, but in a different capacity and not the way that we've seen them on Netflix, because now they're going to be under the Disney umbrella, and that means a little bit more PG-13 instead of a little bit more rated R that we would have on Netflix. Vincent D'Onofrio did come out and say that he wants to see the Kingpin in the MCU, and I think Disney is planning that they want to have him in the MCU, and especially in a movie front. When Vincent D'Onofrio was asked, where would you want to see Kingpin go against? And the first words that came out of his mouth, Spider-Man. So I wouldn't be too surprised down the road to see Vincent D'Onofrio in a Spider-Man movie. So I wouldn't be too surprised. Keep an eye out for this, that maybe in the third Spider-Man movie, we may see Kingpin. And I think that's maybe a little nod to see what's coming up down the road. So while the Netflix series is dead, somehow we're going to see Daredevil rise again, but under the Disney umbrella. So looking forward to that. I think I probably will get the Disney Plus streaming service because they got some good stuff on the way. They're doing a live Star Wars action show, The Mandalorian, which I'm looking forward to. And of course, we got more stuff from the MCU. We're going to have a show based with Loki. And obviously, we're going to have one with the Scarlet Witch and Vision. So obviously, something's coming up there. Falcon and Bucky, they're going to have a show too. Maybe like a buddy cop show. Who knows? But I think it's going to be interesting to see these characters and still live with them outside of not just with movies, but with television as well. So good news on that front. So I'm very happy about that. Yet still disappointed that we're not going to see more of those shows. But we're still going to get a third season of Jessica Jones, which has been a great series for them. And The Punisher will come on with season 2, which I think both of them have been very strong shows. And we'll still see them continue on. So yes, it's disappointing for Daredevil, but still good for us as fans that we'll still see more down the road. So there you go. Sad, but we'll see what they do. GameStop, boy, GameStop's got some issues right now, and it's pretty bad. I don't know about any of you guys that shop at GameStop, and everybody talking about some of the shows. I see a lot of DC stuff being talked about in the chat for the DC Comics. So a lot of DC comic talk I see. But yeah, I'm more of a Marvel guy than I am a DC guy, but I still like characters like Batman, the Joker, and shit like that. So it's all good, you know. But GameStop, I want to get into GameStop news because this is not good news for them. GameStop has officially released their numbers for the third quarter fiscal report. The third quarter, by the way, which ended on November 3rd. It's not good for them. They announced a net income loss of nearly $500 million. The number exactly is $488.6 million loss in the third quarter sales for this year. Joe Cronin's in the house. What's up, Joe? Yeah, I think Joe's waiting for me to use my hands. Not working. Not working. Not going to happen. That was that one moment you got with hands. You're not going to see anymore. But yeah, GameStop had a loss of $488.6 million, and it should have been a lot worse. This number was expected to be over $1 billion, but it did not happen because GameStop sold their spring mobile division, which they valued at $700 million, which they're going to use that money to pay off debts. Obviously, they probably got a shitload of fucking debts. Fund share repurchases and reinvest in core video game and collectibles businesses. I had to write this shit down because I'm still sitting there saying, you know what? GameStop's fucked up. Yeah, I mean, first off, let's just ask this question. Does anybody go to GameStop to buy a phone? I mean, I know I saw them in the stores a few times where they had the phones and they were like, oh, come over to buy a phone and you could play games on your phone. You know, they thought this was going to be a big deal for them. Obviously, because stores like Best Buy and all of them have it. But so GameStop figured, hey, let's go ahead and go sell phones. Yeah, that didn't work out for them very well at all. So they ended up selling it. What's up, Renegade Joe Compton? But yeah, they made $700 million off that sale. So they kind of, instead of losing $1 billion, over $1 billion, they were able to come back a little bit and say, we only lost 488.6. But either way, it's not good. And now they're going to reinvest in core video game and collectibles business. How? Dude, who's walked into a GameStop and realized the place looks like a junkyard? Honestly, I mean, yeah, people trash their stores. You're right, Elias. They do. They trash the freaking stores. But you walk into a GameStop, and I feel like either I'm seeing a Blockbuster video, okay, what Blockbuster used to be, and then, of course, they have all the collectible shit all over the place, and it just looks like a flea market, a junkyard, whatever. And say, because I went in there a couple days ago, and I did a trade-in. which I mean was pretty crappy for a trade-in. I had to trade in my physical copy of WWE 2K19. I have a digital version, which is a lot better for me now because I rather do my games digitally. But I had the physical version that I traded in. Still have all my stuff, my Ric Flair stuff. That I'm not giving away. But they ended up, I ended up doing the trade, and then I had over 50,000 points in my account, which I used to get a digital card, and I used all that to pre-order Jump Force, by the way, which is out in February. But I look around the store, and this is the weird thing. You walk in there, and it's like collectibles all over the place. So they got all these fucking collectibles everywhere that are pretty much junk, except for the statues and Funko Pops. And then when you go to a register, I noticed this, that you have to walk through a maze of shit, okay, that you'll never buy. But they try to coerce you to buy something else while you're in line because, you know, the person at the register has to talk to that person for 15 minutes to get them to buy warranty plans, the magazine, and the cards, and all that other stuff that they don't want. They just want to purchase their shit and get out. The Ace says I used to collect amiibos. Yeah, there you go, you know. But they have so much stuff in that store that you just don't want to buy, but they try to get you to buy all this stuff by waiting when you wait in line to go through a maze of a junkyard like it was in The Walking Dead when they went to the Garbage Pail Kids place, you know? It was like the trash everywhere. And that's what reminded me of GameStop because it's the same thing. It's just junk all over the place. What's up, Gina? Thank you for being here. But it's just a lot of things all over the place. I hate it. I got myself out of there. I have one pre-order left. And that pre-order is for Resident Evil 2 Collector's Edition, which GameStop is the only one that has it. So I have to go through that. Remember when GameStop tried to convert into a tablet business? Honestly, they deserve it, screwing the gamer for years. Yeah, they have. Because, listen, GameStop has an antiquated return policy, which is terrible. You know, oh, you pre-ordered Kingdom Hearts 3. There you go, Elias. But their return policy is terrible. Their trade-ins, or the way they do trade-ins is terrible. And of course, all the crap they try to force upon you while you're at the register makes it even worse. That's why GameStop's becoming the way of Blockbuster. You know, the digital marketplace is starting to take over. Digital sales are up, and that's the reason why physical sales are down. But yet, for some reason, we all want to cling on to anything physical because we feel like we have ownership of that. And to me, I don't feel that same way. And I rather have things digital. And a lot of things that I have right now are digital. Like music is a great example. All our music pretty much is digital these days. You don't really see much of CDs anymore. People just do their music shopping on iTunes or on Google Play. They got Spotify and Pandora. It's almost like, well, what do we need physical CDs for? There's really no point to it when we could just rip them on MP3 and all that other bullshit. It's really pointless. So music has gone the way of digital already. Now I still hold on to movies. I think that's the only thing right now that I still hold on to physically. Is I still like to buy the movies physically because of the fact that I get a digital version for free on top of that. But yeah, physical stuff, Ryan Romano, does take up too much space, and I agree with you. Luke Rojas says, for memorabilia and memories. I agree. Listen, collector's editions are great. But these days, I think that we could see a lot of collector's editions when you open them up, have a steel book in them. You know, for a good example, got it here in my drawer. Watch out, I might pop a hand up again. Joe Cronin might be like, yes, get to it. But say like you get a steel book, like this Spider-Man steel book I have, right? And then eventually you'll open it up, and then when you open it up, there might be no disc. What you'll have is a download code. So they'll give you a steel book with a download code and a couple of other things. And that's pretty much the route we're going to be heading. Microsoft has announced that they're going to have a discless Xbox One next year. So if they have a discless Xbox One, that's kind of telling you the direction that we're heading. And a lot of people might say, oh, no, digital, no good, digital, DRM, all this other bullshit. Listen, PC people have been dealing with the digital age, and it's been working out for them great. Look at what Steam has done. We're seeing it with Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo now doing a lot of digital sales. I mean, let's go back to Blockbuster as a good example. You know, Blockbuster back in the day when we had Blockbuster Video, some of you guys might not know what that is. Like, what's Blockbuster Video? I never heard of that because it probably was pretty much closing by that time. But Blockbuster Video, at the time when we still used VHS cassettes, all right, there was a way to go ahead and go to a store, rent the movie that you wanted, and then, you know, hopefully you bring it back before the late fees kick in. And eventually moving into DVD. But during the time when they were doing DVDs, there was this company called Netflix. Netflix came into play where you can get a DVD from your computer and they deliver it to your home, eliminating the need to go to a store. Okay? So you get them delivered to your house. Return them as whenever you can. The same thing happened with video games with GameFly. Okay? They did the same thing. Now, Blockbuster's wondering, well, what the hell's going on here? You know, oh, no, that Netflix thing is never going to work out. We'll be fine. Everything's fine. People love coming to the store and browsing the shelves for a movie, right? Well, that wasn't working out very well because eventually Netflix would go to a streaming model. And when that happened, Blockbuster's like, oh, that'll never work. It's never going to work. No one's going to remember that. Hollywood Video, another store. Thank you, Luke Rojas. But they're like, oh, that's not going to work. And no one's really going to go sit here and stream a movie. It's not going to be as great as you coming to the store and buying a movie. But then they realized that it was working and that people would rather, what's up, Travis? They would rather sit at home, stream a movie, than drive over to Blockbuster Video and go rent it. So Blockbuster realized, oh man, maybe we need to get with this times. This streaming shit's actually working. But it was too little too late. And that's why Blockbuster eventually went out of business. And I think eventually the last one's gone. You mean the concept of the invisible hand? Yes. But, you know, it made it easier for us in a digital age. And listen, it's time for Himmelgod. Gather around, folks. Start inscribing the word on the golden plate. Eric Connolly, what's up, man? That was good. I understand it's Game Awards time. Yeah, I'm not big on these Game Awards show, I'll be honest with you, Elias. But I just feel like that the age has disappeared where we would go to a store and go do something. But I find it more convenient at home to go online on my Xbox or go on my computer, on my laptop, and get what I want and get it digitally or stream it. It's worked out great for me, especially for me because I'm out on the road a lot. And because I'm out on the road a lot, I don't want a lot of physical product taking up space. Movies, one thing, because they still give me a digital on top of having a disc. So they give me both. But in terms of going to a store and going to buy something, those days are pretty much dead. You walk into a GameStop, and I swear, the day I walked into a GameStop, I was still the only one there. Yeah, I hate no, I don't hate collectibles. I love collector's editions. That's why I have statues and stuff, Luke. So that stuff is good. I just don't want movies and games and all that stuff to clutter everything else up. It's weird because if you go to a store and like Best Buy is a great example where they used to have aisles and aisles and aisles of games and movies and CDs. But if you go there now, well, how many aisles is the movie aisle? 3 aisles, maybe at most? You're lucky if it's 2 or 3 aisles. And the same thing with games. It's like 2, 3 aisles at most. That's it. There used to be a whole half of the store was software related. Not anymore. You know, the digital age is taken over. So downloading games is becoming more of a thing. And that's why digital sales are up over 70%. So it's killing the market right now. And for GameStop, it hurts them because it hurts them for pre-owned sales. Because as I go through this fiscal report a little bit more, pre-owned sales for GameStop, their big bread and butter moneymaker, down 13.4%. Remember, they want you to trade in those games that they give you for pennies so they can sell it for $55. So, which is bullshit. But that's what they do. Mrs. Falmouth Ken's in the house. What's up, Shannon? Thank you for being here. But yeah, pre-owned sales down 13.4%. However, they have seen an increase in hardware sales. Hardware sales up 12.8%. I wonder why. I think that would be because of games like Spider-Man and Red Dead Redemption kind of helped them there. Accessory sales up 32.6%. They said mainly because of headsets. Software sales up 10.9%. Again, Spider-Man and Red Dead Redemption helped out with that, and that's one of the reasons why those numbers were a bit up. They said during the fourth quarter this year, hardware sales are going to be where it's going to be at. Hell yeah, man. This is Under Armour, baby, Luke Rojas. But they did say that hardware sales in the fourth quarter, which leads into 2019, is going to be where their sales are. Which makes sense because during the holiday season, people are still buying consoles. I mean, geez, these things been out for what, 6-7 years already, and people are still trying to buy one. Go figure. How you doing, Shannon? But yeah, Red Dead 2 or Spider-Man. I have both of them, so works out for me. But yeah, GameStop, things are looking bad. I think some YouTubers are already calling for doom and gloom for GameStop already. One of the YouTubers, Dreamcast guy, brought this up, where he thinks that GameStop is going to be dead by the end of this year. Well, they only got a few weeks left. They haven't really closed the doors yet, but they're thinking they have maybe weeks left. I think Review Tech USA was saying probably within the next year or two, because remember, GameStop's still looking for an investor to purchase the company, and it hasn't happened. You remember one of the guys that they appointed the CEO left after 3 months. So GameStop is not doing very well right now. Hell, we just watched a guy, in the last week, trash a store because he couldn't return Fallout 76. Keep dreaming, yeah. Dreamcast guy. That drives me nuts sometimes when he does that. I have to turn off the video before he says that, because it's like, okay, it's kind of cringy, dude. Come on. I'm kind of annoyed by it, but he does a good job on his videos, so I got to give a shout out to him. Shout out to Dreamcast guy. I do watch his stuff. It's very interesting in terms of gaming news, and we seem to be on the same page when it comes to gaming and stuff, especially a Dreamcast. Speaking of Dreamcast, Sega didn't officially announce it, but they kind of teased it about having a Dreamcast mini console, because we're in this wave of mini consoles, folks, and we're going to talk about the PlayStation Classic in a couple minutes, but they're thinking about doing a Dreamcast mini. It's not officially confirmed, but they put up on their Twitter, hey, which version of the Dreamcast did you like? And they put out these versions of the Dreamcast, and you voted on which one you liked. This is kind of a subtle nod to them saying, I think we're going to do a Dreamcast Mini. Now, as long as it's not done by At Games, I'm okay with it. But everything else, fuck that shit. Honestly. But I kind of be okay with a Dreamcast Mini because I love the Dreamcast. It was one of my favorite systems all time. It was very underrated for its time, but we all knew that the PlayStation 2 was going to whoop its ass. And eventually that happened. Sega Genesis is making a comeback. 16-bit's going to be all the rave next year. 16-bit's been around here for Luke. Especially a lot of indie games have been doing 16-bit graphics. So it's still around. It's still nostalgic and good. And I think we're going to be okay on that. But just kind of give you a little nod there to Sega because of some of the stuff that they're working on. So we may see a Dreamcast Mini. It's a possibility, but don't hold your breath. But it could happen. But yeah, GameStop, things looking bad for them. Sales are way down. They're hemorrhaging money. They are slowly becoming Blockbuster Video. And it's only a matter of time before GameStop starts shutting more doors. They have closed over 2,000 stores not too long ago. And, at some point, they're going to start closing more doors, especially in 2019. I wouldn't be too surprised. In 2019, we start hearing about GameStop closing a lot of stores. I think that's going to happen. They have way too much crap invested in their stores. As I said, it looks like a junkyard. It looks like a flea market. It's embarrassing to be in there. And, after I get my Resident Evil 2 Collector's Edition, I'm done with GameStop. I'm pretty much done with them already. I pretty much just go to Best Buy and other stores. Casey Rose, what's up? Good to hear from you. Great to see you. So, another story here, Microsoft. Talk about Microsoft a little bit before we get into the PlayStation Classic. According to a Twitter user by the name of Clobril, he's a very reputable guy when it comes to Microsoft rumors. Microsoft may be acquiring more studios to make exclusive games for the Xbox brand in the next generation. We don't know what those studios are yet, but they're talking about 4 or 5 big and small studios that they're looking to acquire. He said that Microsoft is in active talks with both big and small studios, some of which could be big surprises like a Ninja Theory or Obsidian, both studios that they have acquired. Talks are still early for all of them, though, but 2019, they're going to continue this. So maybe around E3 2019, we're going to hear about more studios acquired by Microsoft. Now, as you know, back in June at the last E3, they announced the acquisition of 5 studios. The Initiative, which is that brand new studio in Santa Monica that they're working on, which is their quadruple A studio. It's being head up by one of the former heads of Crystal Dynamics. Crystal Dynamics, as you guys know, was behind the reboot of Tomb Raider, which has been a great trilogy for them. Undead Labs is a team behind State of Decay, so they acquired them. Playground Games, who did the Forza Horizon series, and they could be the team that's working on a new Fable, which has been talked about for a little while. They haven't officially announced Fable 4, but it's said that Playground Games is probably working on it. At first I thought it was the Coalition, but it looks to be Playground. Ninja Theory obviously was a big one. They're the team behind Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, which has been a phenomenal game last year. And of course, they were the team behind the DMC Devil May Cry, kind of the emo Dante. But it still sold pretty well, even though the reviews were like, okay. Compulsion Games, they did a game called We Happy Few that was released not too long ago. Nico, let's go bowling. Oh my God, you bring up a GTA 4 reference, Luke Rojas. But you need it with a 6-star wanted rating. Okay, was it five star, 5-star wanted? You have to have the most wanted rating, and then have your cousin call you and say, "Hey, Nico, let's go bowling." That's what you need. Thank you, 6-star. But yeah, Compulsion Games had We Happy Few. The game has had mixed reviews, but some people do like it, and I wouldn't be too surprised. When the game goes on sale, I'm probably going to pick it up. But this adds on to the other studios that they do have. 343 Industries, which currently works on Halo. They're working on Halo Infinite. In Exile Entertainment, I think that's more of an indie game sideline. I don't know much about them. Mojang, I think everybody knows that's Minecraft, but they own it. They also have Rare, which I would hope that they're working on a new Perfect Dark game, because I'd love to see that. The Coalition, which is behind Gears of War. Turn 10 Studios, which is Forza. We'll see a new Forza game from them this year. Forza Motorsport 8. And of course, Obsidian. And we know Obsidian because they are big in terms of RPGs. Obsidian is a studio that is known for games like Knights of the Old Republic. Remember that game on the Xbox. That game is just absolutely awesome. And it's backwards compatible, so you can still play it on the Xbox platform. They've done Fallout New Vegas. They also worked on South Park, The Stick of Truth. Speaking of South Park, I finished The Fractured But Whole, which, by the way, is on my channel. Make sure you guys check out the Fractured But Whole videos. They're all up. Thank you, by the way, everyone. I see all the like numbers going up like crazy. Thank you, guys. I greatly appreciate 18 people in here. Thank you for being in here. I appreciate it very much. But, yeah, Microsoft acquiring more studios. We don't know what the new ones they're acquiring yet is, but I think in 2019 we're going to find out by E3. And I wouldn't be too surprised if one of them is a Japanese studio. So there's my prediction for you. One of them could be a Japanese studio in 2019. Maybe. We've heard rumors about Sega, that Microsoft trying to acquire Sega. So keep an eye out for that. Maybe they try to go after Atlas, which is known to make some great games over on the PlayStation. Somehow they're going to attack towards Sony to get some of those studios to the Microsoft platform. So keep an eye out for this. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Bethesda. Let's get to Bethesda because Elias brought this up. And I learned about this morning. But it looks like Bethesda games aren't the only places to find bugs. Because it seems that the Bethesda support page has a glitch of its own. This glitch is accidentally revealing personal information, getting people's names, addresses, and phone numbers of those who submitted help tickets in regards to the replacement of canvas bags for the Fallout 76 Power Armor Edition. How would you like that, going on to Bethesda's channel, putting your information in, and you can get someone else's information on top of that, and you'll know where they live. I got everybody's addresses, man. You know, there's a way to get everybody's address. uh, but anyway, yeah, if you guys know the Power Armor edition of Fallout 76, which is a terrible game, by the way, it's awful. But in those Power Armor editions, they were giving you nylon bags to carry the helmet. The helmet which actually you could put on. Hey, look, Joe, it's my hands again. So you were actually able to wear the Power Armor helmet. But they only put it in a nylon bag, and we all know within a very short amount of time, that nylon bag is going to decompose, break apart, you know, it's going to be shit. So the reason why they didn't do canvas bags is they felt, oh, we just don't have them at the time. But yet they gave them to some of the YouTubers. Well, you'll hear about that comment Saturday. Oh, okay. Oh, man, Joe. You know, since Joe Cronin is here, before I continue on with this, since he's here, let's talk about Monetize this past Friday. And first off, congratulations to Leah, who was able to get the belt. And I did not cash in because if I go back a bit to that summer where I made a donation to make sure that Leah gets the belt and I didn't have to send it to Australia, I felt bad again because I didn't get the chance. When I mailed the belt, it got lost in the mail. Leah never really got a chance to have the belt. So it was the reason why I didn't cash in that night last week. But it's the holiday season. And you know how I am. Your $1 million champion, the big donator, the big man. And I wanted to say something to Joe to hold on to that belt as long as you can, because I have a little something for you. And it goes a little something like this. I'm a mean one. I'm the Grinch. Hold on to that belt as tight as you can. Because in the coming weeks, I'm gonna say those magic words. I'm cashing in. I'm getting my belt back, Joe. House Cronin may have the belt, but the Himmelgod is bringing it back to where it belongs, with me. So instead of seeing my $1 million championship right here, you're going to see the Monetize This championship. And there's nothing that Joe's negative points in the bank can do about it. Hold on to that belt. Shine it up real nice. And Joe, I'll make sure that when I do take my belt back on Christmas, when we're all opening up presents, I'll have that belt right there so you can see it. I'll take lots of pictures for you. The Himmel Grinch is coming, and I'm taking my belt. Oh, I'm going for Leah too. It's in House Cronin. So trust me, when I reach House Cronin, I'm taking my belt. And it's coming back to where it belongs. Himmelgod cuts better promos than most of the WWE talent. No lie! Hashtag Himmelgrinch, says Ryan Romano. Thank you, Ryan. I'm coming for the belt, baby. I'm coming to take it back. Leah, I'm glad you enjoyed the moment of having the belt. Please record everything you can within the next couple of weeks, because I feel like a cash-in moment's coming. So, just to let you know. Anyway, getting back to our story with Fallout. The canvas bag replacement is going on right now. As I go back from the belt to this. But they're doing the stuff with the canvas bag replacement. And because they realize now that they have the stuff and YouTubers had the canvas bag and everyone else got fucked. All right. Acid moment. Mm-hmm. But yeah, everybody else got fucked when they spent $200 for a Power Armor edition and got a nylon bag because Bethesda got cheap. But then on the other side to say, hey, we got canvas bags for you guys. You guys want to go ahead and get rid of that nylon bag? We're going to give you a canvas bag. Just fill out this help ticket. And they do. And now they see everybody's information. They got everybody's addresses on. But anyway, those users were able to actually open and close people's tickets. All right. And then view their personal information and even see screenshots of someone's receipt showing their credit card information, which is really fucked up. Once this data breach was recognized, Bethesda they quickly removed the website, and they're in the process of fixing it. So they got to issue a patch for their own website. Bethesda did say that there's no full credit card numbers were shown, along with password information, and they will notify all customers who have been impacted by this. So it's a fucked up situation. I mean, it's bad enough that Fallout 76 sucks, but I'm a Fallout guy. I love Fallout, but the fact is the game sucks, and then on top of that, you screw people over for a product like the helmet. Because I really wanted to like Fallout 76. I just hated the beta, but I wanted to do a game where I had the power armor helmet and wear it. See, Joe, hands again. There you go. But I really wanted to do that, and it was kind of really disappointing that I couldn't use that. So it kind of sucked. But I'm glad I didn't get it, because I would have had a shitty-ass nylon bag. That would have blew. Moving on here, we got the PlayStation Classic. I want to talk about PlayStation Classic, which was just released this week, I believe. And the reviews have been awful. The reviews have been really, really bad. And I'm glad I canceled my pre-order for it. I did pre-order because I was excited about it. I was like, oh, PlayStation Classic. And then you see how bad it was going to be. And everybody just dropped out like crazy. So PlayStation Classic is horrible. Don't buy one. I know it's $100, but it's crap. Listen, if you want to go get a mini console, get your NES Classic, get your SNES Classic. Those are better. I have them and I love them. But the PlayStation Classic has been horrible. It's always a party when the Himmelgod is on the tube. Thank you, Ryan Romano. But the PlayStation Classic, they got 20 games on there. Some of them are good, but a lot of it is like, why is this even on here? And we're going to tell you why, which is bad. But by the way, can I also mention Tekken 3, which is on there. We found out that Tekken 3 is the European PAL version that runs at 50 hertz. The US version ran at 60 hertz, and it was phenomenal. It runs great. You don't have frame rate issues. But yet, in the PAL version, it's shit. It's very slow. It's not the game that you would normally play. So it's garbage. They really just phoned this thing in, guys. They mailed it in, made a nice looking PlayStation for you to have, but everything on the inside is garbage. But especially some of the games are bad. Especially the moment when you have to play Psycho Manus. You go against Psycho Manus in Metal Gear Solid, and he can't make the controller move. You know, that was one of the things that was in Metal Gear Solid, because you had a DualShock controller. And with the DualShock controller, Psycho Manus was able to use the vibration function to make the controller move. Or he was able to control it and move it around places. And then he would be able to read your memory card. So then all of a sudden, not having that is kind of sad. You know, it's like it makes the moment pretty shitty. But we find out that a lot of the games we had on there wasn't really the plan. And someone data mined the PlayStation Classic and found 36 games that were supposed to be there, but it seems maybe because of licensing and other issues and that they couldn't get stuff on time, they went with other shit. Maybe that's one of the reasons why they only showed 4 or 5 games when they officially announced this thing, so they couldn't get it. But let me go ahead and go down these games. One of them just got revealed by TSS. Thank you. But here's the games that could have been what the PlayStation Classic could have been. These are these 36 games that did not make it. Chocobo's Mysterious Dungeon. Colin McRae Rally. Crash Bandicoot. Remember we talked about this one? Crash 2. Another one. Toy Story 2. Driver. Guys, which was a Square fighting game with Final Fantasy characters. That would have been huge. You know, that game's like a freaking $100 to try and get. That would have been perfect for this platform. Fighting Force, a 3D like Streets of Rage style game. Gran Turismo. Boy, this gets better. Grand Theft Auto 2. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Kagero. Klonoa. Kula World. This one's going to get you. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. Sons of bitches. That game is awesome. Medal of Honor. Medieval. That's coming to PS4, by the way, as a remaster. Mega Man Legends. Mr. Driller G. Paka Paka Passion. I don't think I've played that one. Parappa the Rapper. And that game is awesome. Parasite Eve. A game, by the way, Parasite Eve is on the Japanese PlayStation Classic, not in America. Shout out to Vintage Dream. Thank you for being here. Raystorm. Ridge Racer. Ridge Racer. Remember they announced that back in 2006 at PlayStation's E3 press conference? They went all out for that one. Silent Hill, another great game. Spec Ops Stealth Patrol. Street Fighter Alpha 3. Street Fighter EX Plus Alpha, 2 great Street Fighter games. Not on there. Suikoden, except we got Puzzle Fighter. Puzzle Fighter's good though, but Silent Hill is awesome. Tomb Raider 2, Tomba, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. You bastards, that game is awesome. Vagrant Story, Wild Arms 2, and Xevious 3D G+. 36 games that they planned along with some of the other games that are actually on the platform right now. But they couldn't release them because they couldn't get licensing. Now, granted, some of this stuff is going to be pretty hard, like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. There's a lot of licensing issues with music and things like in that nature. So I think it would have been pretty hard to get that game. But some of these games I look at, like Silent Hill, how did you miss the ball on Silent Hill? That was probably one of the better games in that whole series, and I would have loved to have seen that. Wild Arms 2 would have been a great pickup. Vagrant Story. Medieval, as I said, is getting a remaster on PS4 this year. But our guys, I think, should have been great. The first Driver was a good game. Crash Bandicoot being on that list makes sense because it was very popular with the PlayStation. But I get it maybe because they had the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, maybe is a reason why they didn't have that. But yet you still could have had Tomb Raider. How do we not have Tomb Raider? And surprisingly, still on this list, no Wipeout. Again, they may have ran into some licensing there. But also no Jet Moto. How do you not have those games? They defined the PlayStation. Twisted Metal 2, I think, would have been a better pick than the original. And that would have been a perfect pickup, but they didn't do that. So you look at a lot of these games. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver stands out probably almost more than any of these too, because that game is absolutely phenomenal. It was probably one of my favorite games in that series, and we didn't get it. And I feel like, you know, when you see the PlayStation Classic and what's out there now, I feel like we've been cheated. And that's one of the reasons why I don't have it. And they should have delayed it. TSS, you're absolutely correct. But they wanted it out for the holiday season. They wanted it there, so they just did whatever they could to make a freaking cash grab, and they took it. And to that pisses me off. And because I love the PlayStation platform, but they just do stupid bullshit to go ahead and just throw something out there to go get your money. And I'm very, very disappointed with the fact of that for the PlayStation Classic, because it could have been something great, but in the end, we just got a pile of dog shit. But maybe in the next year, maybe Sony fixes the problem. Maybe they release another PlayStation Classic with the games we should have had. That would be a really good idea. But they'll probably move on to PS2 and have a PS2 Classic before the holiday season and fuck it all up again. I'm telling you, man. But I think they're doing too many of these mini consoles. Look, I love the Nintendo ones. We're still waiting for the N64 Classic, and that hasn't happened. At least not yet. But I have a feeling that it is coming, so kind of keep an eye out for it, especially in the next year. Have Himmelgod fix it. I'm telling you, I'll come with the Sony and fix the problem. Give us the games we want instead of the crap that we really don't need that's on the PlayStation Classic right now. Except, for, of course, Metal Gear Solid, because that game is awesome, you know, and Final Fantasy VII and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, they really they dropped the ball. They fucked it up. And I'm glad I didn't buy it. I really am. I am glad I did not buy it. And hopefully I can steer you guys away from that too. As I said, get the NES Classic, get the SNES Classic. You're better off. I really do think that that's the way it should be. Hey, speaking of new stuff, by the way, tomorrow, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is out tomorrow. For some of you guys, I think are picking it up tonight. My order comes in the mail tomorrow morning, so I'm excited to go ahead and play the new Smash Brothers game. I got everything all set up to go with this, including my controllers for Smash Brothers Ultimate, because I'm playing on my GameCube controllers tomorrow. So I'm really excited about Smash Brothers Ultimate. It will be up on my YouTube channel, as I will cover the main story and have some gameplay. And hopefully for some of you guys, if you have, send me your friend code via DM on Twitter at highoctane_buzz. So that way we can go ahead and play the game together. So let's work on that. So if you guys got friend codes, send them over, and I will send, I'll send you my friend code, however we want to set it up. And that way we'll be able to play the game, all of us as a group. I'll be recording the sessions and putting them up on YouTube. Hey, you guys can become YouTube famous, whatever. It's not like I'm out here to be a big star. But pretty much, guys, that's going to just pretty much about wrap up everything this week here on the Himmelgod Has Spoken for episode number 26. So I want to thank everybody who came in here and hung out for the episode. I greatly appreciate it. We got a lot of programming tonight. As I said, we got Billy, Ricky, and Ken. They're going to be on tonight. Joe Cronin's going to be on with Thursday Night Throwdown. So I shortened things down tonight to kind of focus for those guys and have their shows. And I think that would be really important. WWE 2K19. I will be doing a stream of WWE 2K19 coming up, especially this weekend. And don't be too surprised if maybe I show up there tonight and maybe do a Royal Rumble. Thinking about doing that and maybe setting up contests with that Royal Rumble and start some giveaways here on the channel. So we're going to work on that, and we can draft the wrestlers that we want and have a Royal Rumble. I think that would be great, and we're going to work on that. Also, we're going to have an unboxing coming up here before Christmas. I got a lot of stuff to show you guys because I did get a shipment today from WWE. Some things that I got off the WWE shop, and you guys are going to be excited to see what I'm picking up from the WWE shop. I did get some stuff from some sports memorabilia. I've got some movies and TV series on Blu-ray, and I'm going to be wrapping them up in presents, and I'm going to be like unwrapping like a Christmas story kind of thing on my channel just before Christmas. So probably a couple of days before. We're going to do that, and then I'll have an opening, and you guys get to see all the stuff I got. And it's like saying, here's presents from me to me for the holidays. So I'm really excited to do that. And I got a lot of stuff to wrap up. So we're going to have sports memorabilia, some movies, WWE stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. All the orders aren't even in yet. So it's actually going to be a blast for me to do this for you guys. And I'm hoping maybe a certain Overwatch order shows up before that time, but I don't think it's going to happen. If you guys know I'm talking about the Doomfist statue, I don't think it's going to be here in time, but it's pretty close. So I don't know. We'll keep an eye out for that. But yes, I'm going to do an unboxing opening of all the gifts, Christmas style, on my channel. It's funny how I mentioned it to some people, and my mom said something like, "That's wasting paper." But then I said to her, well, technically we wrap presents for Christmas and Hanukkah and all that stuff, and everyone rips it open just to get their gift. So technically, aren't you still wasting paper? It's the same thing. So I got all the wrapping paper. I got all the stuff I need. It's all wasting paper. Who cares? I'm doing something creative for the channel. And, not just for me, but for you guys too, to enjoy all the stuff that I pick up. I'm not trying to rub it in anyone's face or anything. I just have fun doing stuff. And I like to share some of the things I got and share it with you and show you some good stuff. So I'm happy to do that. So I don't think you guys could see it, but speaking of the sports memorabilia, if you could see that on my camera next to the Soldier 76 statue, there's a couple of empty cases. Just to kind of give you a little idea of what is going to be there. Hashtag NFL mini helmets. So you're going to see some of that stuff. I do have it here, and I'm really excited to show it to you. So But it's going to be like a special Christmas style opening. So there you go. Something that you can say, a little tease of something coming up. And I can say WWE wise, there is another championship belt that's going to be shown on that episode as well. As you know, I got 3 belts already. So here comes belt number 4. And I'm really looking forward to showing that to you guys. So we're going to have a really great weekend. Hopefully you guys have been having a good holiday if you celebrate Hanukkah, or I know anyone Jewish out there, happy Hanukkah. Same with me. Christmas is coming. Maybe some of you celebrate Kwanzaa. Maybe you guys are still in Festivus right now. Is Festivus still going on right now? I mean, Festivus has got to still be going on. Is some people still in the airing of grievances or in the feats of strength for Festivus? So let me know if that's going on too. So I'm just hoping everyone's having a great holiday season. I know I am, especially to be at home. But we're going to end the show here today. I am Brian Himmelfarb. I have spoken as the Himmel God, and I'll be seeing you guys coming up on a few streams the next coming days. 2 Marks Crew tomorrow, by the way. Might be there tomorrow, so kind of keep an eye out for me on that. Monetize this tomorrow night. Do I become the Himmel Grinch and take the belt away? Keep an eye out for that starting tomorrow. Or, hey, guys, give me points. You know, I'm not forcing you to, but you can if you want. Obviously, I'll be there during the show, but not in a capacity of being on the show. But maybe you might see me in the chat or things like that. Thank you to my mods tonight, Elias, Luke Rojas, Alpha Excalibur. I greatly appreciate tonight. We didn't have to worry about banning people or timeouts or anything like that, so I appreciate it. As I said, everything's going to be drama-free. The Game Awards is going on right now. We know that Dragon Age 4 is coming, but it probably won't be in this console generation. And who knows what other trailers we're going to see. I'm sure Elias is going to keep me busy with that. But I may appear on WWE 2K19 with some Royal Rumbles tonight if you guys want to come in and hang out. Hang out on Twitch, _Himmelgod. And, of course, Twitter, at @HighOctane_Buzz. Look in the description, guys. It's all there, so you can go ahead and hit the follow button. If it's your first time here on YouTube, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Click on the bell to get your notifications, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the help. Thank you for all the support that you've given. As I said, I'm not here to be an internet superstar. I'm just here to be me, have a good time, talk with you guys, and share some of the things that we all love together. So thank you very much for that. But anyway, let's get out of here, guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next time.